Hey guys, Matt from TOTALmtg here, and welcome to this week's episode of Commander Time. So it is the release of Hour of Devastation. So this week I'm doing a deck tech around my favourite god from that set, Scarab God. So let's take a look at my Scarab God Commander deck. So guys, let's start looking at the deck, and of course we start off with our commander, which is the Scarab God. The Scarab God has, at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent loses X life. You scry X, where X is the number of zombies you control. Also, the other ability is for 2 black and a blue. Exile target creature card from a graveyard, create a token as a copy from it, and it's a 4/4 zombie. When it dies, you get to return it to your owner's hand. So the good thing about this is that it doesn't have to go back to the command zone. When it actually dies, you can take it back to your hand, which is very good in Commander because it keeps the cost down when it basically dies and then has to keep recurring. Now, I'm not going down the tribal zombie route. I want to use both effects on this card, so my deck has a little bit of everything. So let's have a look what the deck has. We'll start off with the enchantments. Starting off with the first card, which is a Paradox Haze. You get to enchant player, which is obviously be us. At the beginning of enchanted player's first upkeep, each turn, that player gets an additional upkeep step after this step. So this works really well, obviously, with the Scarab God, because at the beginning of the upkeep with the Scarab God, we get opponents lose X life, you scry X, where X is the number of zombies. So this works really well in conjunction. Not only do we get to do that interaction once, we get to do it twice. This is a very, very good enchantment, maybe our best enchantment of the deck. Absolute must for me in this deck. Paradox Haze is there. So, on to the next enchantment is a Zombie Infestation. You get to discard 2 cards from your hand. So, okay, because we've got Reanimation, we're doing both things in this deck. We've got kind of a mill effect as well. This puts a 2/2 black zombie creature token into play when you discard those 2 cards from your hand. So we can do this obviously multiple times, depending on the amount of cards we do have in our hand. And like I said, with the interaction with Scarab, Zombie Infestation is a very good enchantment. On to our next one. It's a bit of card draw with Greed. Pay 1 mana, pay 2 life, draw a card. I've got this in here because it's obviously, you can do it when you want to do it, which is a lot different to the other enchantment. The name escapes me off the top of my head. But this is, we choose to do it. It's not at the beginning of every upkeep. So Greed is a nice card. Does cost 4. The next enchantment, we've only got 2 more left. Endless Ranks of the Dead. 2 double black. At the beginning of your upkeep, put X zombie creature tokens into the battlefield, where X is half the number of zombies you control rounded down. So although we don't have, a great deal of zombies, our zombies can multiply very, very easily in this deck. If Endless Rank stays on the battlefield, this will soon get out of hand, and then we can start taking lots of life off with Scarab. Dictate of Erebos is there. It's got flash whenever a creature we control dies. So when we wrath, maybe it's got someone doing all our creatures, or maybe we do just want to put them all into the graveyard. This has, whenever a creature dies, each opponent sacrifices a creature, so we can basically kill our own creatures to get, reanimate them back. Opponent then has to sacrifice a creature, so it's got a good little interaction with that as well. Next, we go on to the Sorceries. The first sorcery, card draw, Ancestral Vision. You suspend it for 4, then you get to draw 3 cards. Very nice card draw there. Reanimate. I like this card. Very good for this deck. We get to put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield. Under our control, you lose life equal to its coveted mana cost. So we can quickly, hopefully, animate something into the graveyard, then reanimate it back out. It could be something very big, maybe an Eldrazi, maybe something that's just really good. But this can get a giant creature down very, very early. Like I said, we do have a mill effect, Mind Grind. This will affect every one of our opponents, and then we can hopefully start, this is what I'm saying, using the second ability, start stealing our opponent's creatures by exiling the target creature card, making a copy of it, and it's a 4/4 zombie as well. This comes in, each opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until he or she reveals X land cards. Then you put all cards revealed this way into the graveyard. So we can do a big one of these, or we can do an early one, depending on what we want to do. Fascination is our next card. Each player draws X card. Each player puts the top X card of his library into their graveyard. So we're getting everyone's creatures, fancy cards all in there, and then we will be stealing them back, hopefully with the Scarab God out. Or we can just draw X cards as well. Whatever we want to choose to do is situational. Nice card. Sorcery speed, but still good. One of the tutors we run, which is Demonic Tutor. You all know what this does. Search your library for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Windfall is our next card. Each player discards his or her hand, then draws cards equal to the greatest number of cards discarded this way. Good way of getting stuff into the graveyard, Windfall. Really nice card. And then hopefully, if we're the only Reanimator deck, then we can get stuff back and Scarab God can take control of all their great creatures. Read the Bones is there to draw some extra cards. Scry 2 and you lose a couple of life. Then we have a Whispering Madness. Just get that in focus. There we go. Each player discards their hand. You can see the theme of some of this deck, guys, is basically getting disruption, getting everything into the graveyard, and then we're just going to take it with the Scarab God. So each player discards their hand. Then they all draw cards equal to the greatest number of cards discarded this way. And you can also cipher this onto a creature. Buried Alive. Nice foil there from that Graveborn deck. Search your library for up to 3 creature cards. Put them into the graveyard. Really nice. Go get our 3 best creatures. And then we just put them into play for cheaper mana. Night's Whisperer is there for a bit more card draw. Draw 2 cards and you lose 2 more life. And then the last sorcery is a Lice Finale. Destroy all creatures, then we search our opponent's library for up to 3 creature cards and put them into their graveyard. Then that player shuffles his or her library. Go and get the best cards from our opponent's library, put it in there for Scarab to do his thing. On to the instance now. We start off with an Entomber. It's 1 black, search your library for a card, put it in the graveyard, shuffle your library. Works really, really well with Buried Alive. Obviously, it's from the same Graveborn decks. They do congeal really well together. Destruction for us, Pongify. We are in blue-black as well. So this will destroy something that's really big. Turn it into a 3/3 ape. Very nice. Brainstorm. Let's go and see what we got. Draw 3 cards. Put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. Siphoning through the deck. Finding what we need. Bit like Pongify, we've got a rapid hybridization. It is good to have some single kill for us because there might be a really good creature on there. We don't want to wrath everything, all of ours. So we're going to destroy one of their creatures, then hopefully reanimate it back for ourselves. It wouldn't be a blue deck without Cyclonic Rift. Goes in every single blue deck. I don't know a blue deck that wouldn't run it, to be honest. Victim of Night, more singular destruction. Victim of Night, destroy target non-vampire, werewolf, or non-zombie. Card draw in Pull From Tomorrow. We get to draw X cards and discard a card. The discard is very good with Pull From Tomorrow. We can't obviously run Sphinx's Red because we've not got white. But Pull From Tomorrow works well where we can draw cards and then we can discard. The same can be said for Artificer's Epiphany. Draw 2 cards. If we control no artifacts, which we may do, we may not, but we might want to discard a card. That'd be really good. Singular Destruction in Murder. Destroy target creature. More singular destruction, but can hit a Planeswalker as well in Hero's Downfall. Now, we've got a lot of the, like I say, the singular, I know I keep saying it, the singular destruction, because there could be some very good cards. We could play a very cheap spell to destroy something and then reanimate it in the same turn. Really, really good. Catalogue, draw 2 cards and discard. There's a lot of discard in this deck. Psychic Spiral is our next instance. Shuffle all cards from our graveyard into a library. Target player puts a top... let's read that right. Target player puts that many cards from the top of his or her library into their graveyard. So we could shuffle back maybe all our instant sorceries. Maybe we've gone through our creatures. And then our opponent will basically just mill lots. Bit more card draw in Succumb to Temptation. Draw 2 cards, lose 2 life. There's always a pay for life with these black cards. And then with Empty the Pit, 4 black and double, we can create X2 black zombie tokens. We can use the Delve mechanic. I just wanted to put this in case we want to mass an army, because we do run some Planeswalkers that run very well with this. And obviously the ability with Scarab is making, if we want to go this route and the Reanimate group isn't going that well for us, we can make a lot of zombies, scry X, and do a lot of damage. Let's get on to our artifacts now. First artifact is this lovely shiny card here, which is Mana Crypt. It says here, I'm putting it all in my EDH decks because I just want to use it. And it's very good. At the beginning of your upkeep, you get to flip a coin. If you lose the flip, it deals 3 damage to you, but you can add 2 colourless to your mana pool. Another 0/1 is Everflowing Chalice. Make lots of land. Put the multi-kicker on it and make loads of land for us. Of course, we run Soul Ring, which is add 2 to your mana pool, just for the 1. Then we have some scry action going on. Well, scry action, you get to look at the top 3 cards, put them back in any order. Bit of like sorting out your deck with Sensei's Divine in top. Then we have a Mind Crank. Mind Crank is on the mill plan. Whenever opponent loses life, player puts that many cards from the top of the graveyard into their graveyard. Brilliant card for us, Mind Crank. Only costs 2 as well. We want to get this on the Scarab God. Lightning Greaves. Get it having Shroud and Haste. Make it protected. And then they can't target our Scarab God. Bit more ramp here. Fellow Stone. Cost 2. Add to your mana pool 1 of any colour opponent can produce. Which hopefully could be. If not, we have to use it as the colourless mana. Dimir's Signet. Tap for 1. Add black and blue. Bit of rampy ramp. More protection, hopefully, for the Scarab God, or maybe one of our really good creatures. Gives it Shroud and makes it unblockable, which is really good as well, for maybe getting for that last bit of damage in. And our second to last artifact is Darksteel Ingot, indestructible as 1 mana of any colour. And the final artifact in the deck is Paradox Engine. Love this card. Mythic card. When you cast a spell, we get to untap all of our non-land permanents. That means all the artifacts, anything that's been tapped, everything gets untapped. Really, really, really good card. So we are left with the creatures and the Planeswalkers. We'll go with the Planeswalkers first. Liliana, and I've got 3 lilies in this, 3 obviously different lilies. Linda the Last Hope had to go in because the emblem is crazy. Look at the emblem there. At the beginning of your beginning of your end step, put X2 zombie creature token into play, where X is +2, the number of zombies you control. Really, really good. The -2 as well, put the top 2 cards in, get in there, reanimate, we may return a creature card. Very, very good. I really do like Liliana of the Last Hope in this deck. The other 2 Planeswalkers we run is, Liliana ones we run is Death Majesty. It can create a 2/2 black zombie for a +1, and it can destroy all non-zombies with the -7, which is very, very good for us. We will have a lot of zombies, hopefully, in play. Zombies? We will have, hopefully, a lot of zombies in play. The last one we run is Liliana of the Dark Realms. Get to that emblem, we've got like loads of mana then. Pay loads of mana, maybe make a big Empty the Pits, or we got X spells in Pull from Tomorrow and stuff like that. This will also thin our deck, go and search for a swamp. Very nice. The last 2 Planeswalkers is an Ob Nicholas. Draw a card, lose a life, destroy target creature. Emblem is pretty insane. Gets an emblem, whenever a player draws a card, you lose 2 life. Sweet. And then, of course, the meal plan part of it, Jace Memory Adept. Really, really, draw a card. Jace Memory Adept is really good. The 0. Target player puts the top 10 cards of his/her library into their graveyard. If we can protect this somehow and just keep doing that, it's going to be winning the game very, very quick for us. So, on to the creatures. Here we go. We haven't got a great deal of creatures, but we're starting off with a Diagraph Captain. Death Touch gives our zombies +1/1. When a zombie you control dies, target opponent loses a life. Very nice. Plague Belcher is our next one. Has Menace, is a zombie obviously, 5/4. When it ends, you have to put 2 -1 counters on the creature, but it's good. Maybe we can, it works in conjunction with other stuff. And when another zombie you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. So we've got ways here to drain our opponent, which is also very nice. This is my nice special foily Japanese Leech Lord of Unk. So for those of you that don't know what it does, the top ability is blue-black. You tap it, you get to put a 1/1 zombie into play. And then for double blue and double black, just reading my code, target player loses X life, puts the top X cards into the library, into their graveyard, where X is the number of zombies we control. So that is very, very good for us. 2 very good abilities, and it's a bit pimp as well. I do like that. Then we have a Crypt Ghast, 3 and a black. Extort. Whenever you tap a swamp for mana, you get to add an extra one. Bit of rampy ramp. Very nice. And then we have Erebus, God of the Dead. Opponents can't gain life, which is very, very good for us. And we can use it as a drawing engine, maybe. And it's a very good creature. 5/7 indestructible. Not to be sniffed at, for sure. Clever Impersonator can come down and copy anything that we want. Any non-land permanent. Very good card. One of the best copy effects, I think, in the game. And then we have a Havenghoul Leash. 3 black and a blue. Pay 1, cast a target creature card from your graveyard this turn. Very nice. We will be doing that a lot. And it says from a graveyard. So it's anyone's graveyard, guys. And when you cast that card, this leash gains all activated abilities. Very sweet. Sidisi Undead Advisor, Death Touch, we can exploit it. When we exploit it, we can go and search a tutor for a card. 4/6, nice to reanimate as well. Body Double, bit more copying going on, not quite as good as the Impersonator, but this will enter as a copy of any creature in a graveyard. So if we can get something down really good and really early, this can come in and copy it. Magus of the Coffers is our next creature. Pay 2, a ramping creature this is. Add swamp to your mana pool for each swamp you control. We do have another god. We could change to Phoenix if we wanted, but he's not as good as Scarab in my eyes. Phoenix God, he's indestructible. That's the difference with these ones. They don't return to your hand. As long as your devotion isn't, less than 7, he still stays an enchantment. Creature you control can tap and put X cards. Very good in conjunction with the Scarab God. This is one of my new cards that I purchased for the deck, which is Gravespawn Sovereign. Tap 5 untapped zombies, put a target creature from the graveyard, from a graveyard I will say, very important, into play under our control. That's only, is only a 3/3 toughness though. Geth, Lord of the Vault, 4 double black 5/5. Put an artifact or creature card becoming because X from the opponent's graveyard onto battlefield under control. Tapped. Then that player puts the top X cards from their library into their graveyard. Geth is a very, very fun creature. And so is Grave Titan. Make zombies multiple times, hopefully. 6/6 with Death Touch. Nothing to be sniffed at. On to the next creature. Visara the Dreadful. 3 triple black 5/5. Destroy target creature. It can't be activated. And it's a flyer as well. But I like the tap effect on that. Really, really cool. Avatar of Woe. We got a lot of cards from the old Graveborn deck in this. If there are 10 or more creature cards in total graveyards, which is very, very likely, it costs 6 less to cast, which means that we're going to have a 2, it's going to come in for double black, a 6/5 with Fear. We get to tap it, destroy target creature, which can't be regenerated. Seems decent. A couple of Eldrazi, Void Winnower. Really annoying cards for your opponents. They can't cast even covered mana cost spells, and they can't block with those creatures either. And it's an 11/9. Nice. The last Eldrazi and the last creature of the deck is Ulamog, the Infinite Gaia, or Gaia, however you want to pronounce it. It is a 10/10, which has Annihilator 4 and is indestructible. When it's put into graveyard, you get to shuffle it back into your library. When you cast it, you get to destroy target permanent. Has lots of ups, not many downs. This card, Ulamog, is a very, very sweet, sweet creature. So finally, we're going to go through the land. I'll whiz through the land because this is obviously a long deck tech because it is a commander deck tech. And I don't just want to whiz through the cards. So we got Nephalia Drownyard. That is a very sweet land for us because it mills our opponent's top 3 cards. Basic lands, lands that I will leave below, obviously, the deck list. But there's a few more. Any more special lands? Thespian Stage is a very nice one. Becomes a copy of target land and gains the ability. Then we've got basically a lot of swamps. Sorry about the reflection there. It's the sleeves. Very bad sleeves. Commander Tower as well. Cradle. Sacrifice it. Make a 2/2 zombie. Seems decent. Why not put it in? It was foil. And then an Arcane Lighthouse, which is nice. Until end of turn, creatures your opponents control lose Hexproof and Shroud and can't have Hexproof or Shroud. So guys, this is the Scarab God Commander deck. So guys, that was my Scarab God EDH Commander deck. I really hope you enjoyed it. Any things that you think might be good for the deck, don't forget to leave it in the comments below. And there should be a nice little playlist for you to watch somewhere around here. And a subscribe button. If you're new to us, hit that. It really, really does help. Anyway guys, hope you've enjoyed this week's episode of Commander Time. I'll be seeing you Tuesday for Deck Tech Tuesday.